Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. We're here. Almost made it on time. Almost. So today's adventure, I had to figure out how to turn off 25 different languages of Baby Shark because it was loud. And the girls going on a group bathroom trip. I guess getting ready for later in life. And it's time. I need to go to the powder room. Let's all go together. But I couldn't find it because they stashed their remotes, and then wherever they said to go look, they weren't there. So I just unplugged the TV and plugged it back in. It works, but it's not how you're supposed to do it. That's what there was. Before that, this morning we had a grid outage. Turns out it was because of, according to the message from the power company, it was because of foliage impacting the lines, like a tree limb or a whole tree. Who knows? Either way, they took care of it, and our battery system did what it was supposed to do. It carried the load, and then when I got around to looking at all the different dashboards and stuff around the house, I saw, thing says we're on the grid 100% with a full battery. What's up with that? We shouldn't be 100% on the grid because this office should be off grid. That's what the solar is for, right? So I go out to the garage and I look at the unit, the plug-in unit that we have, and it says no connection. I look at the unit, it's fully charged, it's on, there's no errors on the screen. So then, let's push the button. I pushed the button and it didn't click, nothing happened, so let's inspect the cables. Follow the cable back down to it, and it's a little floppy. This shouldn't be floppy. I try to release it and it won't release. Okay, well, push the button down really hard and just kind of work a little at it. And I've got a photo of it. A pair of photos. Let me get them up here. Because I needed it for hope for a warranty. Let's go here. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Let's do share. Hello, Solo. Good to see you. Cutting down phone and utility lines for money. Very well could be. Did you know copper thieves in the U.S.? Oh, okay. Copper thieves in the U.S. Okay, now I believe it. They are very, very willing to risk themselves for a little bit of money. All right, sounds good on YouTube. Excellent. Thank you, Highlander. And live on X chat room with one request. Oh, yes, I did see your message, and then I forgot to wake up in time to address it. Let's approve you. There you are. The new interface is interesting. And how do I not just approve you, but how do I make you mod now? I guess you gotta be in the room first for me to do it. All right, so after the request is approved, then that should change your status. I'm glad they had adjusted and addressed space on Android, but the way they went about it was the worst. Hello, Auntie. Good to see you. Yes. So I was loading this picture up so you guys could see what happened to the. So we successfully went on and off the battery, but we cannot go on battery on this unit again. And I was looking at going with one that would match the battery that we have now, but there's not a chance of doing that anytime soon. So I need to share screen. Google is sharing your screen. Is that allowed? Yes, that's the whole point of picking share screen. All right, so this was what I saw in the cable, and I've seen this a couple of times at charging stations, and I knew that could not be good. Clearly, we're missing the dead front to this lug here, and that lug should be copper colored, not black. And so we look at the unit side of the unit, and it's done. She's dead, Jim. So the infinity port here is gone. So since we've already got a warranty RMA in place for the other unit, I went ahead and requested they do this one too. That's also why it was both loose and difficult to remove, because it had changed states of matter there. It melted and came back to solid at some point. And well, hopefully the grid can stay on until the next time that we need it. All right, so now let's do this. And we've got it still says 0 requests to speak. So I guess Highlander might have restarted his phone or something. But let's go ahead and we're going to pull up today's notebook, because I've got a lot of stuff for us to talk about today. And as soon as I find the button, it's moved on me again, because Google's complaining I have too many bookmarks, but yet also won't let me see the bookmarks to delete them to deal with it. Okay, no, we're not downloading anything we need. There it is, right there. The icon looks different on the taskbar than it does, or on the list of icons than it does on the when it's live at the top of the browser. So now we're going to open the sidebar. And then from the sidebar, we're going to change it from the 9th to the 16th. Now I've remembered how to do that. There we go. Just lost the main monitor, decided to turn itself off for no reason. It does save power, however, at some point it's going to shift all the screens around, so that's going to be fun. There it goes, it's turning off. All right, so let's start at the bottom, I guess. We're going to copy this link. We're going to paste over here. And we're going to... I don't want to log into X right now. Well, show this on the stream. Then we're going to adjust there. And so we've got a new charging station failure here. Look at this. Well, let's see. Can I refresh it? No, I don't want to refresh it. There we go. It just loops. All right, so we've got elephants. The baby trips on the charging cable, and the mom gets mad. Stares in the eye and pushes over. Boom. Jan says, EV charging company edge case unlocked. Update, turns out there was more to the story. They found out there were also electricians on site when it went down, so it made a whole article about it. I think they didn't address the elephant in the room when designing the site. Cable management equals wildlife management. Best time to plan for elephant mom's retaliation was yesterday. Second best time is now. There was more there, but I'm not logged in on this browser. Let's see. I don't want to start up the other browser because it's just going to take too long. I got too many tabs open. That's the reason I turned it off in the first place. And because of Baby Shark and the electricity, I didn't have the minutes needed to address it. I guess I could turn it on and then kill all the tabs. But that's going to be a bear to clean up because I still was in the middle of a project. So let's see his article. All right, or EV wire. He says that elephant's leg is trapped in an EV charger cable, so mom takes out the charger.
Hi, Matt.
Howdy. Oh, okay. I see. It moved you guys to the top. Why does it? I'm sitting there waiting for you to come back, and it said no request, no request. All right, so now I need to push the button to make you moderator. Invite as co-host. Send. There we go. Hello, Matt. Good to see you. And yeah, I imagine any mother might be equally upset if something touched their baby like that. But nobody seems to have discussed how to use better cable management, not to trap the user's feet to the cables in the first place. It's a fair point. Context: the station is at Nangbi Village in Lishon Township, part of the Samau district, on the edge of Pu'er City. A maintenance electrician named Pan was on site with colleagues when they showed up. The crew got into a vehicle, killed the lights, and cut the three-phase supply. That's a smart move. The last bit was a smart. Yeah, the last part was a smart call. The article continues, and subscribing to our newsletter is absolutely free. I am subscribed to your newsletter. Do I got, you know what? I am subscribed, but I don't have a login. I don't want to deal with this on air. We'll keep it up, and I'll deal with it later. So next, we talked about this happening, and then it did happen. Let's open up a. I really want to reuse a tab. I don't really want a new tab. Yeah, let's use this tab. Paste and go. And then close that. And then share this tab instead. All right, so then we've got a post from Tesla Robotaxi. We've got the first Cybercab with Starlink integration. Right there on the back, you can see a request to log in. You can see the Starlink antenna has been color matched. Antenna dish. Really? You guys, all these anti-patterns for login. I don't want to log into this browser. Can I do a private window? And if I do a private window, can I share it with you guys? There's a reason I don't want this browser logged in. It has my backup account. And I don't want the two accounts to touch. Let's see. All right, so it looks like that worked, and it does look like I can share a private window. So let's do paste and go. We'll share this tab instead. So anyway, as I was saying, we've got right there. We can see it. It's very, very well done. And I don't have extensions on this one, so this makes it even more fun. Let's go over here. I almost accidentally clicked the Ask Gemini button, and there's a reason that Google got however many billion users in a day, because a lot of people accidentally clicked on it. So let's see. The next item we have, other than the elephants and the Starlink, was we've got this website here about plug-in solar. So what this is you can get solar without having to have an installation. You just get a panel or two or four or whatever your jurisdiction allows, up to 1200 watts, and you can plug it into a regular wall outlet. Usually it's about 800 because they want to make sure people aren't melting their systems. So this is pluginsolarus.com/states, and there's a state regulatory tracker. So it started with Utah of all places. Don't know why there in the States, but it did. And so here you can track your local area. New Hampshire, SB 540 signed in. New York, AC 111C. Passed both chambers. Is on the governor's desk. Connecticut, 5340 signed into law. Look at that. So Utah was first. You can save $175 a year with the plug. Colorado was next. You can just save up to $215 a year. Vermont, they're permitted, $260 a year. New Hampshire's got it, and of course, it's New Hampshire, so it's deregulated as well. Look at them, $270 a year. Now, are we seeing just the price of electricity in these areas, or do they have literally different caps for each other? Interesting. Maryland, Connecticut, Maine, New York is waiting on the governor's signature. They're deregulated as well. 92%. Look at that. I believe those numbers right there. Everything in New York's expensive. New Jersey, they're waiting on their governor's signature at $230 a year. Massachusetts is pending. California, come on, guys. That passed one chamber on both of those states. California, come on, you guys have so much solar. Just make it happen. Rhode Island, pending. And of course, Hawaii. All that sunshine, and you guys are deferred. It's past the committee. Oklahoma, deferred. You got all that wind. Come on now. Hawaii, $720 a year. You guys need to get on that mess. Woo. I don't know if that's how much they're paying for electricity or the amount of hours of sunlight a day they get around the whole year, or both. If you could save $1,000 a year in electric bill, that needs not sit on committee. Gracious. Once you get fiber speeds in your cybercab, you're never switching back. That's right, Solo. I'll wait for the taxi with internet. That's what we're seeing. That folks are saying for the airplanes. They're saying, "Hey, I'll wait for the one with Starlink. I'll take an extra hop versus a straight shot with no internet or with the expensive slow internet." So I can totally see that happening in the taxi. It's a lot less friction than the airplane. Wow, $1,000 a year in Hawaii, and they're just sitting on it. At least the committee passed it. That's ridiculous. Oklahoma, HB 460 is passed committee as well, $150 a year. Pennsylvania is pending. South Carolina's deferred does not surprise me at all because, like I said, when I wrote Mr. Graham and told him how he was going to mess with the small businesses of America, he said, "Miss Green, pound sand." And I said, "Oh, somebody named Lindsay doesn't know to check somebody's first name to see if it's a man or woman writing when they wrote Mr. on their signature. How rude." Rest in pieces. He and I didn't get along. Alaska, really? For the few people you actually have on grid versus off grid, you can't get it straight in Alaska. Idaho, deferred. Washington, D.C. is pending. Their whole special bag right there. Taxation without representation, right? Iowa is deferred. It's only been introduced. So these ones now go from committees to just somebody has the idea that we should probably do this thing. Ohio, Michigan, and Delaware. North Carolina. Oh boy, Illinois doesn't look good. It's red. From gray to red. But Illinois is one of the ones where if something weird goes on, you never know why something weird has gone on. Minnesota, Washington, Indiana, Missouri, Arizona, New Mexico, Oregon. Oregon, really? You guys been making all these good moves and you don't have a plug-in solar yet? Wyoming, Georgia. Lee, talk to your representative. Alabama. All right, so Georgia, all these are deferred, and then it gets even worse. It's unclear for these ones. Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Sunshine State, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, North Dakota, and South Dakota. I guess I got it right on that one. Tennessee, Texas, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Interesting. All right, I'm reconnected to space. Hopefully that worked. Oh, mic is off. There we go. Now we're reconnected to space. They still need to do a better job. It's just not silently closing out. There we go. Okay, so it does hear me. I see the captions flying. There we go. And well, there's Plug-in Solar US. Like I said, you can keep a track of your state and friends in Georgia. You got some work to do. Talk to your people. And some of you guys are sitting pretty, already ready to go. And my friends in Hawaii, I feel for you. Saving $1,000 a year. Come on, let's get this thing going. All right, so next, what else do we have on this list? I'm not used to having 3 windows open to do this job. Usually I only have 2. And the main monitor is off, so it's saving some power because I'm not looking at it. But like I said, I was afraid that it would shift all these screens around because I've got a monitor in the glasses. That's why I'm wearing the glasses. Straight into your guys' camera. And then we got the laptop screen, which is still on, which kind of helps. All right, so you guys have seen me talk about electric fire trucks before, but this one's a little faster than the last couple of ones we looked at because they weren't just looking at replacing a powertrain. Well, it's not the first purpose-built one, but I guess that's the first ground-up purpose-built one. Let's take a look. So this electric aircraft fire truck hits 50 miles per hour in under 20 seconds. Look at that. Actually, it might just be a new version of the ones we've been looking at. This is in Dallas. The world's first electric aircraft fire truck now has 400 kilowatt fast charger to keep it ready for emergencies at Dallas Love Field Airport. The X-Charge North America supplied C7AM charger from Dallas Fire Rescue, new Rosenbauer Panther 6x6 electric aircraft rescue and firefighting ARFF vehicle. Liquid-cooled charger has been installed at the airport's new Station 21, which officially opened today. Look at that. It is using both ports. This is something we used to see a lot before. I guess we still see it before the MCS got finished. MCS 2 and 3 is people just gang up a bunch of CHAdeMOs or gang up a bunch of CCS ports to get the charge rate that they want. So they're taking both sides of this fast charger. Can we make it bigger? We cannot make it bigger. Additional EVs will use the charger at Dallas Love Field as Dallas's Love Field electrifies more of its fleet. The 91,000-pound Panther can accelerate from 0 to 60 in under 25 seconds using electric power, or in under 20 seconds using boost mode. For comparison, the airport says its diesel counterpart takes 28 seconds, which is a big difference when crews are racing to an aircraft fire. This is true. You can also shoot water or firefighting foam up to 250 feet, a 40% increase from the diesel truck's 190-foot reach. That lets firefighters attack a fire from further away. Its electric motors cut noise by around 50% during emergency responses, making it easier for crews to communicate. The truck's electric water pump can move up to 2370 gallons per minute. Good gracious. And Rosenbauer designed its a battery system to cover the drive to an emergency, discharge the truck's entire supply of firefighting agent, and get back to the station. So really the only reason they should be on generator is one, if they're in boost mode, or two, if I guess if they're pumping extra that they didn't already have on board, or if they have back-to-back emergencies. Dallas Fire Rescue was already operating Rosenbauer trucks when the manufacturer sought a department to put its Panther through real-world testing. Dallas agreed, and provided the charging setup could meet the demanding operational requirements of an emergency response vehicle. So the X-Charge system ensures that we are prepared to respond quickly and safely when duty calls. The Panther was unveiled at Love Field in April, and it's undergoing a 6-month test period to cover everyday operations, training, and comparisons with the airport's existing fire trucks. Feedback from Dallas Fire Rescue will help Rosenbauer refine the vehicle before it enters regular fleet service. There we go. I am curious the comments on this one. Hope it has the braking power to match. Well, the thing is, electric, I would say that they probably do, assuming that they didn't forget regen. Most modern EVs have regen to match the acceleration power. It's the same motors that do both. If this thing can do 400 kilowatt charge, it can probably regen a significant percentage of its motor power. Yes. Cyber fire truck. All right, so next. Anders, we got one for you. Our friend Anders, longtime member of the channel. Copy link to clipboard. He has helped us understand his countrymen and the Swedish way. And it looks like after a 1,021-day strike, with the sympathy strikes to go with it, Tesla has prevailed. Probably the first time ever in Sweden. And again, the reason I take the company side on this is that none of the workers were asking for this. So if you don't recall, IF Metal wanted Tesla to be a union shop, but none of the employees were asking for it because they already had a better deal than what the union was offering. And so the union started to strike. They had like 30 people or so in the entire country that went on strike, allegedly. And that didn't do anything. So then they went to sympathy strikes, which meant that all these other companies around the industry had to start boycotting Tesla, including the mail and the janitors and the trash service. While these 30 people should have been on the picket line because they were being paid to boycott and strike and picket, and yet I think in the entire 3 years this was going on, we only ever saw maybe 5 to 10 people on camera get pictured holding up their signs there. It's been suggested that perhaps they were double dipping, and I'd say that if they were doing that, it's both clever and unethical. Get paid twice to not work, or rather, no, get paid twice for one job. So they still go to work, and then they get their pay for being on strike, or not work and not strike. You get paid once. And that's really unethical. Because then you're just stealing. I'm not accusing them of that, but it has been suggested. Oh yeah, this one was nice too. Let's just get that one next. I didn't put it on the list, I don't think. No, I did. So we will not go there next. Back to where we are now. So let's see what happened with IF Metal this time. So they are calling off the strike after 1,021 days, the longest labor conflict in modern Swedish history. The union says that it's stopping because Tesla bought out every one of its striking members, leaving the walkout with nothing left to withhold. So does that mean all of the employees or all of the companies that you were? Because I know they didn't buy the post office, or not the post office, but the post office contractor. Lee Moon in the house. Good to see you. Says hi, Kacey, Highlander, Solo, and Friends. Good to see you. I was talking about the plug-in solar bill earlier. If you don't mind rolling back and checking that out when you get time, and figuring out who you need to contact to get that thing moving again. Okay, so Tesla bought out all the striking members. Nobody left to withhold. The dispute started in October of 2023 over a single demand that Tesla signed a Swedish collective bargaining agreement for its mechanics. It sounds reasonable until you realize that nobody was asking for that. Nearly 3 years later, Tesla hasn't signed one, and now the union is standing down. IF Metal announced that today it's ending all conflict measures against Tesla effective at midnight 01 on August 19th. So they don't have anybody, and they're still on strike for another 3 days. Your people are very dedicated there, Anders. Highlander likes that. This is highly. Okay, so in 3 days from now, the strike will be over. Wow. The union was blunt about why. Tesla bought out its members at the company, so the strike no longer has any effect. The longest strike in modern Swedish history. The fight began on October 27th of 2023 when Tesla's roughly 120 mechanics across 7 Swedish workshops walked off the job, allegedly, after Tesla refused to sign a collective agreement that covers the vast majority of Swedish workplaces. It snowballed fast as other unions started to support Tesla workers, or so they thought. And dock workers refused to unload Teslas at Swedish ports. In Denmark, Norway, and Finland joined the blockade. PostNord stopped delivering Tesla's license plates through the mail. Electricians wouldn't service Tesla's chargers, and the cleaner stopped cleaning its showrooms. We covered each escalation as it happened, from the ports closing to the fight reaching the superchargers. Tesla routed around all of it. It imported cars through Germany, trucked them up to Trelleborg, and it went to court to get plates directly rather than through the mail. Elon Musk called the Swedish model insane. The company never budged. Ryan must be at Costco. Yeah, he could be. How Tesla actually won. The union didn't lose a vote or run out of money. Tesla simply paid its way out. Well, we discussed them. We discussed the ability of them to run out of money and determined it would be, 10 more years or 30 more years of just fully paying all the people they claimed that they had before they even noticed it. So, yeah. Lee says, late again today. Whoops. Went to pick up lunch and started chatting with friends. Hadn't seen in years. Just got home with lunch. Ham sandwich, broccoli, cheddar soup. What's the dessert, Lee? Is it a brownie? Highlander loves that. Let's see. According to IF Metal, Tesla bought out all the remaining striking members one by one until there was no one left on the picket line to represent. So it looks no different than it did over the last 3 years. Tesla has gigantic economic resources and has used them, among other things, to buy out the strikers. That is unique. LO agreement, Secretary Ville Pekka Sakala, I'm sorry, told Swedish outlet Ny Teknik Lee says, have chocolate Milano cookies. In the pantry. Gotta finish the whole gotta finish the whole pack this afternoon. I have goals. All right, pace yourself and drink water while you do it. Okay. Maybe start with milk, but then then go to water. Keep everything fresh. Let's see. IFML's leadership framed it as a moral stand that ran into a wall of cash. Yeah, but you were saying that the whole reason that you were on strike in the first place was to protect your members so they get a better deal. But the employees were already getting a better deal than you were offering. And so now they're getting an even better deal because they've been paid off. So you worked. You did your thing. Islanders so hungry. I agree. I had breakfast before this, but it was mostly not good for me food. So I'm not... there was some protein in there, but I could use some more food. Lisa, sweet tea and later water because I got to. That's right. Let's see. Our members at Tesla are union heroes who fought for collective agreements against an employer with strong anti-union stance. They do have a strong anti-union stance. They do. Mary Nilsson said, adding that 3 years of striking meant enormous personal sacrifice. Oh, did it now? Contract Secretary Simon Peterson went further, saying that Tesla is so opposed to collective agreements that they would rather buy out union members than offer secure conditions. You guys have never actually detailed what it is you wanted, because again, everything that you say that must be done to level out these members so they all get the membership deal across the country, Tesla had exceeded them all. So you offered a regression for your members, rather than offer secure conditions. The union called it strike breaking of a kind Sweden hasn't seen in decades. Yeah, because Sweden's never seen anybody stand up to the Swedish way ever. Because who can? You're in one industry. You've got 3 people you're dealing with. In this case. But I'm assuming that if it was a real issue, you've got half of your staff is out because you're being a slumlord employer, and you won't make safe conditions or whatever. So then you've got the public, then you've got your employees, and then you've got the customers, and then you've got all of your suppliers, and all of your customers are striking against you because of the Swedish way. You're going to stop being a scumbag really quickly. What if you've got no employees that are even standing outside the place on the picket line? I say no. They claim 150. We saw 13 for sure. Anyway, Tesla sales never cracked until Musk did. Or the sales never cracked until Musk did. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He lost his filter and alienated thousands of sales around the world until the fuel prices went up, and then people started to finally separate the company from the man. Here's the part the union's opponents will point to. The strike never actually hurt Tesla. This is true. The Model Y was Sweden's single best-selling car of any kind, both in 2023 and 2024, straight through the blockade. Tesla registered 21,894 vehicles in Sweden in 2024, its best year in the country. With the strike in full swing, as we reported in October of 24, Tesla stayed dominant while the union fight dragged on with no visible effect on demand. What finally broke Tesla's Swedish sales wasn't the union, it was Musk. Registrations collapsed to 7,252 in 2025, down roughly 67% from 2024, as Tesla sales cratered across Sweden and across the rest of Europe. That drop tracked the political backlash of Musk's activities, not the labor dispute, which by then was old news. Sweden's own registration data shows Tesla's down 63% year over year through the first 7 months of 2025. 2026 has been a partial recovery off of that low base. 512 registrations in January, 553 in February, and 1784 surge in March, and then 424 in April and 858 in May. Better than 2025, but still well below the pre-Musk backlash peak. Yeah, I mean, people have principles, and if you offend them, they will let you know. But then at the same time, they have to eat, so they will come back. If you're looking at $20 a euro or $20 a liter gasoline, and all your electric competitors are quitting, and so it's either go Tesla or go China, right? So they go Tesla. I've been on both sides of union strikes, and this was the silliest strike I ever saw. Exactly, Andrew. I would be all for the employees if I could find anybody who had a problem. But it's kind of hard to side with a paper person. Notice how FSD is going viral. Cybercab will also go viral. If you have time, you're going to record it and send it to your friends. Yeah, that's true. So the union's leverage argument was always shaky. Mm-hmm. It couldn't dent Tesla's sales at their height, and by the time the sales did fall, a bigger force was doing the work. All right, they got their take. It's a clean loss for IF Metal, and their top comment was by Corey Taggart. It says, maybe I'm recalling wrong, but the strike was also a relatively small amount of staff being a single department. It was not like the factory floor workers were striking, so nothing was able to be built. Right, and if it was, it'd be a lot easier to take their side because it'd be people out, not just a handful of people around the whole country. The strike is meant to show how valuable those people are to the company's ability to do business. To be honest, if the company is still running along after 6 to 12 months without them, it kind of proves the opposite point, and they're not as valuable, that they are not that valuable, and it really weakens any attempt to bargain, since the company could show that they are not mandatory. Yep, and I think the only thing stopping them from cutting them at that point is the law. The union picked a fight on principle that Tesla should follow the Swedish model like everyone else. Tesla answered with a checkbook, buying out strikers one at a time until bargaining unit is empty is ruthless. Exactly the kind of thing that collective agreement system exists to prevent. If it holds up, it's a template every foreign employer in Sweden just watched work. Yeah, but if there were a real issue there, they wouldn't be able to afford to do this. So, again, shows you how few people had an issue and that the issue wasn't a legal issue by any means. Because if it was like, I don't know whether they have the equivalent of OSHA there, but if it was like a safety violation or if it was like whole departments that had issue, they would kind of want to have to deal with everybody at once. The sales data undercuts the union's theory of the case. The strike was supposed to make Tesla feel enough pain to sign, and it never did. The Model Y was Sweden's top seller during the worst of the blockade, and eventual collapse in 2025 came from Musk politics, not from dock workers refusing to unload cars, not from the mailman refusing to deliver plates, not from the janitor refusing to sweep the floor. Tesla proved that a German company can wait out even the most coordinated labor action in a country built around labor as long as it's willing to spend and absorb the bad press. That is one take. However, again, if they were out there not doing their part, and you had the people who were on strike saying, "Hey, look, here's a video of the equipment they have been working with," and they show you like this 80-year-old equipment that's not up to snuff. That's different, and people could get behind that, but you didn't have any of that. The bigger question now is whether this emboldens Tesla to take the same posture in Germany, where IG Metall has been circling the Grünheide for years. So Tesla Berlin has been fighting IG Metall, and IG Metall refused to join the sympathy strikes against Tesla with IF Metall because it's illegal in Germany. And, well, the fight wasn't very strong with IF Metall, so they didn't want to hitch their wagon up to a failing cause when they had their own fight to fight. So I respect them not jumping in that even though they probably could have found a way to make it happen. But I'm glad to finally be done reporting on IF Metal. Now we get to talk about IG Metal whenever they make a move. Let's check out these comments real quick. TM Motors, the legal name of Tesla Sweden, has no manufacturing. The ones on strike were the mechanics, which were the category of personnel that were members of IF Metal. Not all mechanics were on strike, though. Didn't we already talk about that? In the final weeks, it seems there were only 8 on strike. So much ink for nothing. They were bought out with individual agreements. 18 months salaries were the average according to what surfaced the media here. Of course, there were 8 left at some point, and then 1, 5, or 50, or whatever number. Could you elaborate on how they bought out all the strikers? Did Tesla win just by giving everyone a massive bonus or a pay rise? That's a win in name only. Tesla bought out their positions and hired non-union workers. IF Metal spent millions and has folded. So it was a massive loss and won't be repeatable due to this new strategy. It shattered the assumption that Swedish collective bargaining is impenetrable. Apparently, Karl Marx never accounted for the tactical power of direct deposit. That's one take. Aren't all the Tesla workers there non-union? I mean, wasn't that the whole point? Yeah, all but 13 of them, or 30 or 120, however they want to claim. No, there were several members of IF Metal working at TM Sweden. Yes, that's true. It's a great example. Hopefully others will be able to follow it. According to the media here, Tesla, Cooper, I don't know. Lee says, I live in an FSD dead zone. And 11 disengagements going to Burger King and back yesterday. Par for the course of my area. Drives into oncoming traffic. Ooh, stops midway through. Yeah. It's like if you're gonna jump out in front of traffic, please don't stop in the middle of the intersection. Let's just keep going. That's exactly how humans get into crashes. Is the hesitation and the second guessing. You can't be doing that once you're in the path of traffic. Just trying to make sure the screen didn't turn off and I ended up closing the window. All right, so yeah. Par for the course of my area, drives in oncoming traffic onto the highway, FSD, last second, 4 lane changes. Mine, I got a new update. It doesn't have 14 light, but it did. I didn't try to see if it still has the hit 200 kilowatts draw, pretend to go blind thing or not. At the end of the last update, it was still doing it, so we'll find out. So probably a win for the workers, not for Tesla. That's the whole point. Not really. What they fail to mention is that the number of workers striking was a tiny percentage of the 120. Yeah. Numbers on strike differ from 27 to 8. The trucking of the cars alone would cost Tesla more than the buyout. So Tesla just paid the lower bill to keep trading and to break their strike. For those several that get money on the way out, maybe, but not for the workers in general. Clearly everybody's happy now. Yes, it's clear from Tesla's side that they have absolutely no guarantees for the future. The members that they bought out are free to rejoin the union. Yeah, forbidding them from doing so is illegal in Sweden. Yeah. As soon as even one new employee is a member of IF Metal, the entire strike can start again. This is true. IF Metal won by large. That's not what IF Metal is saying. They're crying. We wasted so much money for this. They cheated us. A massive win would be the conditions for all workers to be according to a collective contract. They are not. A massive win is that everybody has a good condition, regardless of whether or not it's from a collective agreement or not. And then if for some reason they aren't getting what they need, that they can collectively bargain for it. Not the collective isn't the important part. The conditions are. So if the conditions are good, they don't have to bargain on anything. If the conditions are bad, then they need to be able to band together and make them good. The union isn't the important part. I think you have it backwards. Buyout here refers to Tesla Motors Sweden offering money to agreeing to terminate the employment at TM Sweden. Just offering money to leave a union would be a violation against MBL. All right, so they got bought out completely. Like you're going to retire. Here's the money. Brian's in the house. Futurasa says it's not too late. Hey, Brian. Howdy, Lee, solo Highlander. Hi, Brian. By poor lane changes, I mean stopping at a stop sign in the proper lane, and then the car does the FSD wiggle while switching back and forth between the lanes, decides the wrong way is the correct way. Gotta like it. Massive loss for IF Metal. Not at all. If one worker strikes, everyone else just keeps working as they did over the last 3 years, and Tesla sales just keep going up. Unless, again, there's a real issue, and like all of a sudden, you've got people getting hurt, and then people point a microphone and a camera at it, and then there is no goodwill, and so you've got customer boycotts, you've got sympathy strikes that make sense, and then they will cave and do the right thing. Or they offend Musk personally, and then he keeps it up himself. But that's not what happened here. They paid them this year. They could fire them all on a whim. Collective bargaining is more than just pay. It is. It is, but you're holding it up on this pedestal that is not reality. Like a religion. Sure, without someone in the meeting when you're told you've been fired and are thus at your best when it comes to taking notes, when you try and work out if the cost of the lawyer will be worth the risk. That it's illegal doesn't mean that they won't. And it doesn't mean everyone is a good outcome. Okay, didn't follow what you're saying there. That's the same regardless of whether it's a union. It's remarkably hard to fire someone in Europe. There are plenty of no-win, no-fee lawyers. So talking about contingency lawyers, yes. Fred, there's no votes regarding unions nor CBAs here in Sweden. I know that's the case in other countries, but not here. I don't know what that means. No votes regarding unions or collective bargaining agreements. But that was the whole thing, is that they did have a vote and they did want it done, and the 13 people didn't get it. It's disappointing that the Swedes continued to buy so many Teslas while the strike was going on. It's not like there weren't plenty of alternatives in 2023 that they may come to regret it if other companies do the same. Again, if you could make the case to them that they should not get a good product because of a demonstrable reason that they should be upset. I buy Chinese alternatives. They really respect those workers. Several alternatives besides them. Around 20% of the 150 available EV models are Chinese EVs here. In 2025, 4.1% of all new registrations were Chinese. And in 2026, January through July, it's about the same. Point being that there are already so many EV models to choose from. Yeah, if all you care about is that your car be powered by electrons, if you want it to be comfortable or reliable or any number of things, your selection dropped substantially to the Chinese Tesla and like maybe 5 depending on which class you were purchasing from. So they're treated with the same hate as Tesla. No, that's the other part right there. To take it out on the customers was just as bad as what people were doing here and in France. And you don't take it out on the buyers. They bought what was best for them. Whatever your issues are politically or financially or whatever else with the company, that's with the company. And if it's just the one rich guy standing out in front, then really your issue is with him and not with any of the employees. So the Musk says wild stuff backlash and the Swedish mafia were both just outsized reactions to the wrong people. I don't know how my comment can be anything to do with hate for a brand. Tesla, however, is closely related with Elon. And since Elon made a complete fool of himself in the last couple of years, that has affected many regarding what car they will choose. And since there's an abundance of choose from, well, over the years we've been driving EVs, we've never had a Tesla. Well, if you don't know what you're talking about, then but that is due to the models they have. For our larger car, we needed something that can fit our 3 hunting dogs, and Tesla doesn't have anything for that. For the other car, we need something small, and there's simply better alternatives in the Model 3. Okay. And that's your choice. That's what you needed. Well, interesting. Reading the news, it seems that even the Chinese respect workers more than Elon. Well, the good thing is that the company hires the people and employs them, not Elon. So, Lee says, I was very impressed. Someone still works marvelously for me. On the other hand, it took a new path at Honey Baked Ham, made a perfect route into the first entrance, drove behind the building, and straight into the spot I was parking on the other side. That's really cool. Brian says hunt smaller game. That's also a possibility, but once you get the dog, you're kind of stuck with them for a lifetime if you're not, gonna take them to a farm or whatever. So, but at the same time, if you're hunting smaller game, you don't have to take the dogs with you. Fair enough, Brian. That's how Tesla won. According to the Swedish media sources, Tesla made individual contracts with all their employees on strike, provided 18-month salaries to leave Tesla. Note that being a member of a trade union is strong protection in Swedish law, similar to freedom of speech. Being a member of a trade union is very popular among employees in Sweden, often seen as an insurance policy. You always have somebody else that can speak for you regarding your rights if you get into conflict over work conditions with a bully manager. Tesla just said we're willing to pay 18 salaries to get rid of such employees. What kind of victory is this? So for 3 years, you've been screaming about 120 people, and you just admit that it was only 18 people. Could you imagine Tesla sitting down to say, but we need what the buyers, sitting down and say, but what if the buyers really need to be able to bring 3 large hunting dogs? I could see that, but clearly it's not in their customer story that they felt the need to accommodate that. Apparently, they didn't feel having a large SUV was a matter either, or at least that they would sell enough of them that they wouldn't have a problem with a gap. Despite that, again, the same guy these people are whining about, saying that we need to have 17 children. Without room to carry all these 17 children, I don't know where I'm going to put them, because we don't all have places to stash them all when we leave the house. So you got to bring them with you if they're under the age of being able to be left at home. Or I guess you could hire care for them, but again, not everybody can afford to hire care for them every time you leave the house either. So they come with you. It sounds like Electric is endorsing Musk behavior. I don't know. You can jump to that, Chris. But that is enough of the comments from Electric. Let's get on to our next article. Go back over here and all right, so we finished I Have Metal. Copy this link. Oh, this is another Electric article. Tesla Electric launches $35 a month Powerwall whole home backup lease. If this works for you, good. But again, I don't want Musk in my pocket every month, so that's why I am so frustrated with the FSD pricing. I say Musk, but Tesla. But it's because of his pay package. That's why I say Musk. Lease has got a preliminary trade-in quote from Tesla for the Model Y. $5,000 more than you paid for it. The reason I say that is there was this guy that we read his complaint on online the other day, and he was saying that why do the used cars cost more than the new cars? And then he decided that he would offer less than the new car to the shop. And when he called back to check on it, the shop said, well, we sold it for more than we were asking you for it. And then he got all in his feelings. Supply and demand. He could go get a new one and wait in line. I think that we're into 2027 now for whatever one he was looking at. So that's why he was looking to use ones himself. The $35 a month backup lease works with an asterisk. Tesla's upfront about it. Typical lease for 2 Powerwall units runs about $122 a month for the first year, and then a 3% annual escalator is baked in. Enroll in the Tesla Electric Backup Plan, and you qualify for $87 a month credit. Apply that to the lease, and you're left paying $35 plus tax in year one. That's a one-time $100 order fee to get started, and Tesla's own promotion markets a $0 installation. But the credit is not automatic forever. It only kicks in after the system is installed, granted permission to operate, and successfully enrolled. And then you have to stay enrolled in Tesla Electric to keep meeting the program requirements to keep it. Drop out, and you're back to paying the full lease. The lease is limited to select Texas areas with retail electric choice, and solar panels aren't eligible. This is battery and electricity only, not a solar one. Non-standard installs that need electrical upgrades or special permitting can cost extra and even affect the credit ability. So this is interesting. The customers do get Stormwatch, which charges the batteries to full ahead of severe weather, and they manage the whole thing in the Tesla app. Tesla says it now has installed more than 1 million Powerwall units worldwide. Yeah. You gonna dish Lee? Come on. Oh, there he goes. 38.1, but he paid 13 out the door after the Model 3 trade-in. Tax incentive and the loyalty reward. So almost 3 times better than my cash. Really about 11 under the new price. But then you still need something to drive. Which is my problem with the astronomical increase in RAM prices. Like, hey, I've got all this RAM I can sell, but then I need RAM, and it doesn't work out so well. The $87 credit isn't charity. Tesla can afford it because it monetizes the batteries through the VPP, dispatching your stored energy back to the ERCOT grid when demand and prices strike. So basically, you're getting a free backup, and that's it. You can't put solar on it. I mean, that's not nothing, but Tesla gets to distribute energy through your home. I mean, it's win-win, but it's not as cool as the headline made it sound. Moving on to the next one. We got one from Drive Tesla Canada here. Let's see what Darren and co have told us. This one's by Matt Wilson. Porsche reportedly plans to end the Taycan production by 2030. That's very disappointing, and also doesn't surprise me when you've got a company that's willing to end U.S. production of an electric car that's doing okay in favor of a V8 V8 SUV right in the maw of $5 gasoline. So yeah, the Volkswagen Auto Group, I could totally see them ending the Taycan, either not replacing it or putting something better out there. And it is a luxury sedan, sports sedan, yes, but sedan nonetheless. And luxury sedans aren't the best sellers here, so hopefully they replace it with something that will have even better volume and still be electric. Marking a major shift for electric sports sedan that helped launch the German automaker into the EV era. Lee says toying with a Model 3 or Y performance. I think you might enjoy that as an owner of a performance Tesla. They are fun. I might as well go performance if FSD is so poopy in my area, right? Yes, I agree. Lisa says, Brian says, I've seen people who sold their house because it went up in value so much, only to realize that they can't afford a nicer house. Yeah, they all went up. Yeah. The only way I ever see that house went up situation working is like, all right, we don't need as much house anymore because the kids have gone off, or I think we're moving to an entirely different place and things are cheaper to start with over there. I do suggest checking everything before you jump, because it may be cheaper to have housing costs, but the food and taxes and all the various fees may eat that difference up. We'll talk about the guy who got a raise, moved to Virginia, and then Virginia taxes were supposedly on par, but they were, oh man, it might as well have been a pay cut. Anyway, according to a report from the German business publication Wischtkraft Walk, sorry, not pretending to speak German. Porsche has decided that to phase out the Taycan production by the end of the decade. The report also claims the automaker has abandoned earlier plans to move production from its main plant in Zuffenhausen to Leipzig factory. So instead of moving it, they're canceling it. Sounds like VW. Porsche has not confirmed the report. When asked for comment, the spokesperson instead pointed to remarks made by CEO Michael Leiters in July, where he said there were no plans to discontinue the Taycan in the short term. You and I might consider 2030 to be short from 2026, but when you're looking at quarter to quarter, that is like 8 quarters. So yeah, not in the short term. 8 quarters. That's like 2 years. That's 16 quarters. So yeah, you're not in the short term. The Taycan sales have fallen sharply. Yeah, everything in the world has gotten expensive, and you're looking at a car that starts at $87,000, and then you add any options, and you're looking at $120,000, and yeah, sell that into a recession, global recession. Taycan sales have fallen sharply from 2019. They initially proved popular globally with sales of 41,000 units in 2023. However, demand has dropped significantly since then. They sold 16,000 in 2025. Deliveries totaled around 6,000 during the first half of 26. Yeah, plus there's the matter of, everybody wants one, has one, and you gotta do something to make them buy again, or if they're leasing it, then you've kind of got them locked in anyway. So they like it, and they just get the new one, they get the new one, get the new one. The decline comes as Porsche has already shifted some of its investment back towards combustion and hybrid. Well, you wonder where your customers are going. You tell them they're not important. Porsche's EV strategy is changing. Ending Taycan would not mean Porsche's abandoning EVs. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that. The company currently sells the Macan Electric, which continues developing additional electrified models, but its transition is moving more slowly than originally planned. For now, the Taycan has several years ahead of it, assuming the reported 2030 timeline proves accurate. And there are no plans to discontinue it in the short term. Also, it doesn't necessarily mean that the report is wrong. Yeah. So, what's next on my list? All right, we did Volkswagen. We did the Powerwall. All right, let's go back to electric and Volkswagen. And paste and go. This one I planned to breeze through and just look at pictures because the ID Buzz still makes me upset. After 25 years, it finally came out, and then it was nothing like what they promised except for looks. And this one didn't even look like that. Look, it's one color. It's not the two-tone. It's not lime green or blue or orange. Anyway, Volkswagen's new electric camper turns the ID Buzz into a home on wheels. I would not call that a home if it doesn't have a place to shower and do your business. A really nice glamper van, perhaps. Volkswagen's giving people what they want. An all-electric, fully fledged camper van that can be assembled in minutes. The ID California Cruise is coming as the first all-electric California camper. And is it still not available in California? Because that was the hilarious part to me. So they were calling it the California camper, and it is not available in California. The 350-ton Long King ZL230E is the biggest, baddest battery mining rig you can buy. Well, you know, you got my attention with that. Tesla adds 2.4 kilowatt. Yeah, we're going to talk about that for sure. That's on the list. Volkswagen reveals the electric California camper caravan salon in 2026. Volkswagen will unveil 2 new camper concepts: the ID California Cruise and what? Maximum freedom and the stuff bubble. The stuff bubble? That's a cool name. Wait, what's that? That's the stuff bubble. You want to jump in my stuff bubble? Volkswagen and Stuff Bubble are developing new inflatable camping equipment and modules that are lighter and easier to install. According to VW, the special parts turn an everyday van into a fully fledged camper in just a few minutes. Without adding unnecessary weight or permanent fixtures. The solution is perfect for those who want to enjoy the comforts of camping on spontaneous getaways and still have a van when they don't. The inflatable bed is just as flexible, weighing just 12 pounds or 6 kilograms as single, or 26 or 12 as a double. The inflatable kitchen. I don't know if I want an inflatable kitchen. Those things don't sound like they go together. Ryan says on the ID Buzz. Wait, Lee says, I purchased no financing 3 Teslas and have paid about $4,000 less than the cheapest Tesla. Got me 3 for 1. Best deal was trading 24Y and paying less than 4K in the 24 Model 3. Indeed. Brian says, only kind of on the ID Buzz looks. The early renderings and prototype were amazing compared to what they delivered. Yes. I mean, yeah, I'm not mad at what they've delivered, but I am let down by the 25 years of promises of really cool stuff. And then we get a minivan, just a minivan, generic minivan. I'm nothing against minivans, but it's not all that stuff they promised us. All were new inventory cars with 8 miles on them. Tax incentives were quite helpful back then. Indeed. Brian says, I knew I shouldn't have eaten that. I got the stuff bubbles real bad. Highlander agrees. So does Lee. So next up, we've got all right, so we got the stuff bubble, kitchen, and bed. I've already spent more time on this than I thought I was going to. At Caravan Salon, Volkswagen commercial vehicles will unveil the ID California Cruise for the first time. Didn't share any details. Did you like repeat yourself there? Like the ID Buzz, the California Cruise will be available with 79 or 86 kilowatt hour battery packs. I'm really surprised that the van doesn't have a 100 to 120 kilowatt hour battery pack, but that's just me. Okay. Oh, you get your little cups. It looks like cups in the whatever that mascot is. Let's see what the people say. The photos on the article are the T7 California that's been on sale in Europe since 2024. Yes, but not in California. To be exact, they show the T7.1 California Beach that will be released in November. Brian's got to run. Had a shoot with Dr. Know-It-All momentarily. All right, sweet. Everybody take a look at that when it comes out. I have so much shooting to finish before my Tuesday departure to Nepal. Indeed. Safe travels. That's at Futuraza on YouTube. Let's see. Of course, I can't buy California in California. I knew that was coming up. All right, so the next article we've got is, now that we're done with our stuff bubbles, we talked about Porsche. We've got somebody who did an upgrade to their Model 3 hardware 4. A first camera started working on hardware 4 equipped Model 3 from 2022. Yes, I did the retrofit. It's not as bad as it seemed. The computer replacement needed some light ECU hacking. No need to replace the camera cables as well. I'm sure Tesla would disagree with that, but he got it working. You can get away with adapters. Safe travels. Thank you all. Paper airplane. I missed going to the local Iona recharger yesterday. They had Lucid test drives and going on and cheap charging. Drove past it, but needed to eat in a bad way. I didn't get the stuff bubbles. I'm glad I didn't get the stuff bubbles. So this retrofit, they've got adapters on the camera cables. So that's one way to do it, I guess. It's driving, but it's still a bit weird. It's still a bit of stuff left to get all the features. I honestly thought Tesla could have done it ages ago and offer a paid upgrade if they end up doing it. Doesn't need to be so much new parts. But you need to replace all the cameras. It can be done on Intel cars together with a Ryzen retrofit. So, yes, the picture is a Model Y there because that's where the computer came from. It's 2022, so he's at that cutoff between new system and old system, so he can actually switch it from Intel to Ryzen there. Or no, his was already a Ryzen, but he can switch it from hardware 3 to hardware 4. Yes. So there's a picture of his MCU in service mode plus. 25 minutes remaining on his charge. It totally looks like a Model Y in the picture, but it's a Model 3. You can tell by the camera position. Oh, is it one of those European Union chargers? Look at that. V4, maybe. Or V3 Plus? We don't know. Probably V3 Plus. So then he says it's only slightly large, only slightly taller. A Highland mount would work if you drill the mounting holes for it. There you go, right there. Yes. Let's see. That's awesome. Yes, it is. Awesome work. I was under the impression it would require a battery and harness upgrade to support the power requirements of Ryzen plus hardware 4 on Intel cars. Definitely easier to retrofit Ryzen hardware 3 cars that already have this. I think it's easier here because 2022 has the lithium-ion low voltage battery. The Intel systems with the lead battery is probably going to be a substantially larger upgrade, or they're just going to slap a boost converter on it and call it a day. Yeah, my comment was targeted at the final statement. Very curious what is possible. Oh, go forward. I went back too far. Hey, look, it's Brian. I had a comment on YouTube that said some Tesla channels can't be trusted because they appeared in filings, but didn't elaborate on which one or which kind, what the context was. I asked for a citation, and he gave me a common sense skeptic. I suggested that's not a credible source. Yes, indeed. Insurance question at all state for several policies, home and auto. Son goes off to college tomorrow. Anybody? Insurance gets dorm room. Part of my homeowners trying to decide what to do since he'll have his gaming rig, MacBook, iPhone, etc. The computer and stuff can be covered by a rental policy. So very, very salient questions, Chris. All right, let's see what else Brian told us. As for citation, he gave me his common sense skeptic. I suggested not a credible source, and well, read for yourself. Common sense skeptic is critical. Is credible. He is an educator in numerous other fields. Also, the hater label is getting worn out. None of the Elon pumpers and pushers have any independent credibility. They're supposed to expose to the debt pile in exactly the same way blind cultists pressured analysts. The firewall was dropped in 25. Now protecting their fees and commissions, banks from the coming posts, midterm housing bank committee system investigations. Elon probably can't upset the system this time. The mess is too obvious. Best of luck. Wow, Brian. Wow. I guess educators these days don't need to base their teaching on evidence or reality anymore. They use a lot of math to backfit their conclusions. A lot of channels do that to reach the desired outcome. It's the old baffle them with BS approach. It works on a lot of people. Sources, dude, just trust me. Yeah, if the common sense skeptic is the same guy as Montana skeptic, then he's got some points, but he does have an angle that he's stuck into. The dude's a believer. And what? I have no clue. Maybe giving his contribution to justice Matt. All right, so I hit back one too many times. So let's go back to, since it wouldn't go forward anymore. Back to this. I thought there was more details on it when I put it in the, did you have FSD purchased? If so, did you retain FSD? He says it won't retain because the entire computer was replaced. Okay, so I'm stuck waiting for the official retrofit as I suspected. Are the camera harnesses up to the task for the upgraded cameras, or would the wire harnesses need to be upgraded as well? It's both. You just need to adapt it to a different connector. No need to cut and replace everything or anything. So if that's true, I think that Tesla might give up their purist stance on the cameras and just put adapters on them because, like I said, to replace my cables in my car was a bear. And yes, the whole mini factory thing, but Musk says stuff a lot, and we'll see what actually happens when they hit the ground. I think this turning on the captions is exactly what I needed to keep the screensaver at bay on the spaces. It's been participating, except for when it goes away. That one caught me by surprise. Going back once. Let's work on upgrading the Intel cars to AMD Ryzen too. Yes. Oh, I remember somebody was talking about the monsters like mine, the air-cooled ones. This assumes lithium-ion low voltage, right? Cameras upgraded too. Yes, but it will work with the old 12-volt system too, just different adapter harness needed. Okay. First boot is the easy part. Does camera calibration survive sleep cycles and firmware upgrades? Yeah, since those are OEM cameras. How about the cooling for the new computer? It's fine. It seems we'll know more soon. Where's the thread about old cars? It'll be fun when you realize Hardware 3 cameras are so different than Hardware 4 cameras that FSD will just refuse to work. Did you read the post at all, Hayden? He said he replaced the cameras. But we're using Hardware 4 cameras. Of course they're different. And those Hardware 3 ones don't work. Anthony says, okay, now make me want to work with my 2017S. Michael says, if only it had liquid cooling. I've got an Octa NH-D15. We can make this work. 15? That's going to be a screaming fan. Even for an Octa. Michael says, I doubt they'd even make V14 Lite available on those. But honestly, those cooling issues have one reason only: dirty radiators. They need to address this in software so that APE would shut down more gracefully instead of dying. So that was something that got me interested right there, because we were talking about how it's at the end of the cooling chain, but he's suggesting that it's just having a dirty radiator. So perhaps if you put some time to clean the radiator, if you're one of the ones having the FSD stall outs, maybe this will solve it for you, if he's right. Then they go on. I also don't see cooling being an issue in the legacy SNX because of the meaty heatsink with 2 fans and a literal duct from the AC to blow cold air directly onto if needed. So it's much better than sharing a cooling loop with the battery. I didn't realize how robust the cooling was on SNX FSD because of this. I knew it had fans, I knew it had heatsink, but I didn't realize that the reason it's in the glove box where it is so that they can just tap into the AC system. That is just freaking cool. And they say AC, but I imagine it could also tap into the heat if they wanted. I don't imagine they want that most of the year, though. Where's that duct? Is it automatically open? I soundproofed RX. The AP computer gets a bit hot in the summer. I can hear the autopilot computer when it reboots, because it really gooses the fans, and then it goes back to quiet. So I imagine that if needed, it can really throw some air into that space. I also managed to sit through my latest update because I was stuck in the car, and it said it was only going to take 20 minutes, and I knew that I was going to be there for about 30 minutes. So I pushed update, and I forgot that it turns off the air for a good portion of the update. And I'm glad it was at night in a thunderstorm, because that would have been uncomfortable. But I also was reminded how loud the MCU fans could get, because they really kicked up a bit during the upgrade as well. Just when it's time to update the controller, they just go full out, and the MCU fans are also quite effective. Lee tells Brian to have a great shoot with Dr. Know-It-All. Speaking of radiators, is it possible to run radiator fans in reverse to blow out the front when parked and not charging? And would that even help? I would think it probably could help, but I don't know that it would work, because I believe that they are directional, like in such a way that the controller can't tell the fans to go backwards. We have a lot of demand right now. Megapack stuff is booking Q1 of 2027. Might need a bigger factory. Oh my goodness, that's good. To help clean debris from the radiator fins. I think that would be really cool if they could do it even a short while, just to like, if they have an anomaly, just run them backwards and see if it gets any better. Now that's an excellent, interesting question. It should be 2 wires, positive and negative, plus maybe a feedback. Yeah, there should be like a sense wire for RPM, like a TAC cable. And yeah, they are just DC. So really the only thing stopping that is if Tesla didn't make it a programmable enough circuit that they could put the current in backwards. So knowing them, it's certainly possible that it could do it. I just don't know if they just did it the traditional way or not. There's certain things that they just have not shaken up. Although if you're measuring by current flow, you probably don't need a feedback. You already have it. This is also true. Also true. It's behind the AP computer. I guess you'd have to remove it to see it. Huh. So yeah, that explains exactly why it is where it is. I like that. Congratulations. I hope you get everything working 100%. A matter of soldering the rest of the camera adapters. Those are only DTCs remaining. Oh, that's cool. On the screen, I see a Model Y. Check the codes. It's a Model Y computer, 2022 Model 3. Closest match that works, even when you change the config, doesn't affect the visualizations. And then Tyler from Tesla Scope says, must be something remaining resulting in that. Can you deduce any strings being called by the QT visualizations if you've gotten as far as desoldering? I know the unit in the car isn't rooted, and it won't be for now. We can adjust the identity through the gateway later once it's finished. Tesla service told me they would upgrade my Model 3, my Hardware 3 car computer to a Ryzen MCU Hardware 4. However, it would require them to replace all the cameras with the exception of the trunk and the hatch camera, and then replace a good portion of all the camera cables because Tesla considers them obsolete parts and designs. It would have been $3,500 for the retrofit, which didn't include an upgraded screen and was another $1,500 for the touchscreen. Although the pitch of the blade might not be... Yeah, that's a concern for me as well with the reversing it. I assume the only reason Tesla's waiting is because they don't want to have to retrofit these cars more than once. Awesome progress, though. I agree with Shane there, is that they're being cheap about it. Question. I have a 21 Model Y LR. Intel. How easy is it to retrofit to Ryzen? I honestly don't care about having Hardware 4 at this point. I should point out that Tesla service told me that it will never happen because space needed in the dash. Yeah, they say that, but here we are with it happened. He says, doing the Lord's work. Picking up where Jason left off. Oh, that's right, Jason. We know Jason upgraded his AP1 to AP2. Yeah, but that one was even worse than this. The AP1 to AP2. One of the coolest things I've seen recently. I hope Tesla starts doing it themselves, at least with the Hardware 5 as they suggested a bit. We'll see. All right, so that was why I brought that one about. And here I've got trays. I don't know why I've got trays. But we've got trays. Let's take a look. Oh, trays. Yes. So I would definitely consider this tray upgrade for the Model Y L. Look at this. Got tray tables for your Model Y L. Or he wants it for the Model Y L. Tray tables for your regular Model Y. I would like this for my Model X. Oh, I spoil those children, don't I? Motorized too? Oh, yeah. The light bar doesn't match my car. So I guess I'd be stuck in white mode because all my lighting accents are white from the factory. Yeah, I could see this. This would be handy for FSD unsupervised. The tray is too high. It's more to hold things and not to eat. Yeah, it's a little too high to eat. Why are they so high? Because that's where your tablet or phone is going to be, apparently. Or he's a really short dude. One or the other. Not good for crashes. iPad screens would work though. Yeah, I was curious about. That was the other thing that was holding me back. I was like, what about a crash? Probably would hurt in a crash. Can someone send me the link to this? It would have been even better if they had one for the Cybertruck. He says super comfortable. I'm thinking this guy is short now. Look how high that is even for typing, unless it's mainly meant for consumption. By consumption as in not like eating, but like just watching content. Oh, there's an Amazon link. Automatic tray table for Tesla Model Y. Model 3, motorized folding food tray, smart anti-pinch Tesla. It's not as much as I expected it to be. Copy this here. Then we'll come over here to Amazon. And then we'll get you guys a link. I don't know that I want the Amazon bot on the side of my screen there. All right, so here is a link. It's an affiliate link, so if you buy one, they'll throw me a couple ducats, and I'd appreciate it. Okay, well, that's not the exact one we looked at though. Let's get a link to that straight one. These are the whole category. They've improved since the last couple of videos I made on it. That's for sure. My goodness, I might have to do some more reviews. I found a better price for that one than the one that we just saw too. Oh, here we go. Under $200, barely. So $199.99. It's for Model Y and Model 3. And I doubt there'll ever be one for Model S or X because not only were we already in short supply, but now it's discontinued. So there's less a reason to target us. And so this is the other one was for trays, and this one is for that exact tray that we saw in the video. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see. Lee says I love the trays. Actually, that worked great for you, Lee. You know, you're a supercharger. You go to the back seat and you can use your laptop right there. All right. I would so upgrade to this. At chin height. I wanted these until I realized they're a death warrant for anyone in the backseat using them during the crash. Better to rig some tablets into the back seat. Yeah, but if you're not using them during driving, still a good idea. And I'm curious if they had a response to the crash. Uh-oh. Well, at least it visibly closes the window instead of just sitting there when it kicks you out. Okay, there we go. Shut up and take my money. Soundtrack is obnoxious. Well, good thing I didn't listen to it. All right, so moving on. I told you I got trays there. Now let's see what else we got. Classic. Classic. Paste and go. Close that. Current classics. Bismotto's 600 horsepower electric Rolls Royce Silver Ghost. Or Silver EV Ghost. And this one first was the name that caught me because we got our EV Smoke drives the White Ghost as his daily driver. And so I was like, oh, got Silver Ghost. And then I saw it. And I was like, oh, that's a classic. Slammed, but a classic. 14 in the Toyo Tires booth in 2024. The BZ Azorius converted roller resurfaced this week at the Exotics on Broadway. The slick, silent running Silver Ghost electric resto mod never looked better with a freshened interior and a fresh coat of wax. Being a bit of a Rolls Royce obsessive, pre-BMW obviously, a fan of Bishi's electric P cars as well, I was excited to see the Silver Ghost rematerialize on my Insta feed, looking fresh as a daisy. You can see what I saw below. My goodness. As the giant, easily excitable car nerd fan that I immediately reached out to Busy to try and get more information about the car. But Busy let me know that the car is based on the 1974 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, sprayed in chalk white and powered by a custom 600 horsepower, 400 volt liquid-cooled electric motor with a 18,500 RPM redline. An AEM-developed VCU 275 controller with custom Bisimoto-tuned software managing the flow of electrons, which came from the dual Bisimoto battery boxes stuffed with 70 kilowatt hours worth of LG Chem lithium-ion batteries charged through a CCS connector. That cooling bit is courtesy of a CFS GT3 center radiator, tucked away behind the Silver Shadow's iconic grille. Ahead of a set of compact dual-pass controllers for the inverter, motor, and battery packs. Accessory electronics are handled by anti-gravity ATX 30 HD 12-volt battery, while the air ride equipment airbag suspensions drop the car over a set of Brixton forged alloy wheels wrapped in Toyo Proxy's high-performance tires. A luxurious SOS Customs leather and Alcantara interior topped off with a bespoke wooden steering wheel and a Speed Hut can EV gauges finish the look. Let's see. Thanks for the links, Kacey. You're welcome. How to open the links in a while. I'm afraid it'll knock me offline. Thank you. Let's see. Hopefully this doesn't have music, but let's watch it. Oh, it's taking us another place. Share this tab instead. Look at that. Had quite a photo shoot. 1973. 73, 72. Either way. That's one slick automobile. Yes. Well done. All right, so back to the article. Busy's Ghost Restomod will be at the Toyo Tires Shuttle Space Car Show later this month in Irvine, where the now 600 horsepower height of the 1970s electro cruisers will be rolling in low and slow, turning the heads of everyone who knows what they're looking at. You can see a bit more about the event above, and then let us know what you think in the comments below. Let's take a look at the comments. I do like older Rolls-Royce cars, and still like the new Bentley cars owned by someone else. Yeah, and I do like this one, but I'd want it to look just like from the factory, other than the EV. My dream is to be able to afford to buy a nice older Cadillac, 1975 to 93, and have it swapped out to EV. I prefer and want a sedan. I love the older sedans and Cadillacs in particular. So getting behind the wheel of a stunning 1976 sedan DeVille in all its very large glory and silently gliding down the road gives me goosebumps. And that is a big, long, beautiful Cadillac that stand out in a crazy world of ugly lumps and trucks and SUVs. Can't wait. Except for the wheels and the on-the-ground stance, I like this. Well, the good thing is it doesn't have to be on the ground when it is moving. Favorite RR conversion was the 1929 RR Phantom 2 that Jason Momoa had done a few years ago. All right, let's see. Yeah, like I said, it caught my eye. And the last thing in the notebook is this, but we've still got those 2 sidetracks that I pulled out, so we'll get to them in just a minute. Paste and go. So this one's over from Reddit. Tesla has officially launched the vehicle-to-load V2L capability for all Tesla Model Y premium trims in the US. So this means that you can now use your vehicle's battery and Tesla outlet adapter to power other devices and appliances, including space heaters, power tools, camping gear, and fans with Tesla's $80 outlet adapter. It's also now live on Tesla's online configurator. The second pick below lets you select the adapter during the config process. And since there is no only Model Ys produced as of date listed in the capability, presumably all premium Model Ys have this vehicle-to-load capability. But I'll let you know if I hear anything different. Outlet adapter, 120 volts, 20 amp, 2.4 kilowatts max, Gen 3 mobile connector required. Then they've got the X-Link, so we'll go there next. Let me open it. I went to the Tesla site and it says this item is not compatible with my 26 Model Y Premium. Good to know. There seems to be a bit of a confusion about which Model Y is compatible. Some people are saying it's only compatible with the Model Ys produced after May, while others are claiming that the Tesla website simply hasn't been updated, and I'll keep you guys posted. Edit, someone posted above, and there's this. So we do know that a certain cutoff on the premium, not the premium.
Hi, Brian.
Hey there. A certain cutoff on the sports, but I don't know about where the premium would start, because we were saying that the premium had the same charger as the sport. Let's see. '26 premium all-wheel drive. We'll check in a few days. Now it's added for the 3. People have reported working on newer 3s in the previous thread. I just think it's crazy that the Y doesn't include outlets inside the car. Well, neither did the Cybertruck base, so let's go on over to the X thread there. Da, 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 da. Right there in the configurator. 26 Model Y just got better. So it's not meant to tone backup, correct. 2026 Premium had no dice. This accessory is not compatible with your vehicle. However, as they were saying in the thread, this may get updated later. Part number 1135558 for the PCS, which means ours is not capable. I love Tesla for constant upgrades and changes, but it makes it impossible to choose the right time to buy Tesla. This is true. After deep diving online, it appears the confirmation of V2L capability depends on which of these 2 part numbers you have from the factory. My existing Model Y does not have the updated version, so no vehicle to load for me. Oh well, c'est la vie. Here are the 2 part numbers for the Model Y. Here you go, Lee. you need this one, 2100145-NO-E. If you've got 113558-54-A, you're out of luck. Unless you want to spend $2,000 for a new one. But in your case, I would just switch to the Model Y Performance, which they all have it. Hyler is asking, since I was talking about 2 stories, last Tuesday I was thinking about Model Y Performance in part due to the vehicle's load capability. Then the outlet accessory showed up. Still thinking of Model Y Performance. Model Y doesn't have my Model Y doesn't have the hardware to support it. Oh, so you've already checked. Before you end the show, can we discuss the Toledo electric buses for just a moment or two? Yeah. What would you like to talk about them? We saw the article about them that you shared a couple weeks ago, and we'd love to talk about them. Test the parts catalog, most accurate hardware, search for PCS. There you go. So some of you actually will be able to use this, some of you won't without buying a new car. Okay. Share this tab instead. Tesla PowerShare works on new Model Y Premium. He's blow drying and space heating. Nice. He does have the new part number 2100145-NOE. Okay, excuse me. I say that was the last one in the book. Yes. All right, so then we've got this mining truck. You guys know I like electric mining trucks. 350-ton Long King ZL 230E is the biggest, baddest battery mining rig you can buy. Thing's ginormous. 6-wheel at that. Media ceremony in Longyan City. Fijian province made this week where 350-ton GVW haul truck sits in the class of its own as the single largest tonnage battery electric mining truck in China. Referred to as the LK 350E for its 350-ton GVR, the new 3-axle ZL 230E for its 230-ton payload is the current largest tonnage pure electric mining truck in China. Wow. So you thought the old one was big at 230. How about 350? Good gracious. Wow. Look at this. Look at the size of this truck. These men barely get to the top of the wheel, let alone the tires. Mm-hmm. Goodness gracious. The truck powers ahead with a pair of 800 kilowatt electric motors. Goodness gracious. 2 of them. 1,600 kilowatts. 1.2, 1.6 gigawatts. 1.6 gigawatt electric motor. Or megawatt electric motor, sorry. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. 2 800 kilowatt electric motors fitted in each of the rear drive axles, managed by advanced drive systems for coordinated calculated power output that delivers real-time power matching across the axles for sustained uphill power and maximum maneuverability in operationally complex mining environments. Power comes from a conceivably massive 1,400 kilowatts, a 1.4 megawatt battery pack fitted with a durable high capacity. So if they were run flat out with both motors, they would get less than 1 hour of runtime. But they're not running flat out like that. High capacity ultra fast charging system. It says it can support charging from 10 to 90% capacity into 25 minutes. Excuse me. Wow. Econ conduits, the Okay. So one more sidetrack, and then Highlander's going to tell us about the buses, and then we will call it a day. So this is what we already talked about with vehicles to load. So here it is seen with the Cybertruck base. I'm assuming it's the old base that nobody wanted, just in the photo, not the new base that everybody likes but can't get a hold of. Tesla's still at the bottom of the vehicle to load back. Still no home backup on Model Y. Be aware this does not work for all Model Y Juniper editions even if it's not the standard Model Y. If you bought the Y Juniper before they had the Model Y standard, it probably won't work. It's a complicated way to say look for this part number. The vehicle to load outlet adapter does not work on early Juniper Model Ys purchased before the updated hardware and trim specifications rebranded to premium were implemented. The required internal power conversion hardware was only added to recently built Model Y vehicles, leaving out earlier builds. We'll take the win. It's a move in the right direction. I don't understand why Tesla is still lagging behind the industry when it comes to bidirectional charging, because they've been against it. That's why. An $80 adapter that turns your car into a 2.4 kilowatt generator is a better deal than any portable power station on the market. Putting it on Tesla's volume vehicle instead of just the Halo trims is the right call. Mm-hmm. All right, Highlander, go ahead and unmute yourself. Tell us about the buses, please. Hyundai's shipped off EXL since 2021, 3.6 kilowatt. Yep. Just for US, UK, and EU, which use 230 volts. 1.8 for fridge weather. Yeah. Is your microphone working, Highlander? I heard you earlier. Hello. Lee says he checked the Tesla app earlier today to confirm my early build 26 can't use it. The app hamburger and tapped on shop and then parts and searched outlet and it says not compatible. Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll buy a new car. Yep. Mark might have the right hardware. That is correct. There's Cybertruck and then there's Cybertruck. Is that one of the big Chinese ones? Yes. Yes, it was. I just saw a video on it. Highlander says thumbs up heart. Yes, thumbs up and heart, but I'd like you to tell us what you want us to know about the buses. Unless you got a new link. Let me open up my phone here. Like I said, I saw the message and I didn't click it because I was wondering why there's no power in my building. I smell lunch. Oh, I smell lunch. Just in time because my sugar's going off a cliff. Let me see what we're at with sugar. Can't even click the right stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're going down. I was looking for the message on X. Mark's got a post. He says, stop the burning. Go EV today.
Yeah, you remember just exactly how excited I was.
Since 2021, 3.6 kilowatt.
Okay, I'm speaking on X if you can hear me.
I hear you on X.
Delay.
Just for US, UK and EU, 230 volts. 1.8 for fridge weather. Yeah. Well, they got some delay like crazy, don't they?
I'll be speaking on X.
Is your microphone working, Highlander? I heard you earlier.
Can you hear me on X?
Yeah, I hear you on X. I don't know why they was on such a delay. You'd think that was like a bad actor or something. Earlier today.
I'm not sure why you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Fair enough.
I will text you the information after the show, and you can use it for next week.
I think I'll just hang on and see if it catches up while you're still on the line. But if not, then yeah, I'll take the text.
Truck. Is that one of the big Chinese ones? Yes, it was.
That's more than like a cuss filter that they've got me on here. Have I made Elon think I do OnlyFans or something?
Want us to know about the buses? Unless you got a new link, let me open up my phone here.
Other people are saying they can hear me, and they're not even on X.
I hear you too, just on a delay. Oh, you hear him with a delay too? Okay, interesting.
Can you hear me now, Casey?
I mean, that's even longer than the delay they put us on with when Slimy's on.
Yeah, I'm speaking on X.
We're just waiting on the buffer to catch up. I don't know why they do this to us.
Crazy, don't they?
I'll be speaking on X.
Wow. That's over a minute.
Can you hear me on X?
Yeah, here you go next.
Okay, very excited about the buses, and I thought they might have a problem with the batteries. The drivers have told me that there's a battery problem. I thought it would be during the winter. The problem is they tested the buses in the winter. The problem is the summer. They can't take the heat. And we've had record-setting heat this summer in Toledo in June, July. After the show.
So it sounds like they pulled a Nissan Leaf and didn't practice all the seasons that the buses would have in your area. That's not good. This is what's going to be like talking with the moon and Mars, by the way, you guys, if you're going real time. Maybe that's what they're doing. They're getting me practiced for when Elon's on Mars. We can do an interview. I'll be the only one with the right level of experience. Thanks, X. Looking at a post-spotted model on those cheap Nissan Leaf leases. It was a great experience until we turned it in. Flawless, only 6,200 miles a week ago. Dealership did the walk around, said the car looked great, no issues, and we were on our way. 2 weeks later, we got a bill in the mail for $791.05. $720 that is because of a scratch larger than 3 inches on the front and rear bumpers. Again, I don't know who you're reading this from. Any scratches would have been taken care of ahead of time. But the vehicle is perfect. Yeah, I hope you got a 360 walk around of the vehicle before you turned it in. The only ones I've ever had any good experience with lease turn-ins have been Honda and Chevrolet when I was working as sales. You'll probably get slimy. A day later, we get a second letter from Nissan saying if we lease another Nissan now, they'll waive the majority of the excess wear fees. Really? Unfortunately, that was an amazing experience. Turned into my family to unacceptable, unable to recommend Nissan for anyone in the future. Yeah, I mean, fool me once, right? Ask for photos, and did you submit? Take a photo of the vehicle to return. Still working on it. Figured you would be. Brandon says he'd be asking for proof. Brandon Flash. All right, so we've got on this delay, and I will we'll wait to see if it brings Highlander back. Thank you guys for your time today with us, and I want to thank our channel members for helping shave the hosting bills on this a little bit. Every little bit helps, and so I'll give it a couple more seconds. But like I said, I want to thank all of you guys again for today. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, it helps out. If you see a hype button, I don't know if I qualify for hype, but if you see it, hype me up, and we will catch you on the flip side. And then a few seconds of silence before I hit the end show button, just in case Islander here's my comments about the heating of the batteries and the cooling, and then if not, I think he's still going to send me the link, and then we'll talk about it next week for sure, because it's kind of important that the battery works in all of the conditions you deployed the bus in. We've got Lee says here in coastal Georgia, we'll hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit in a few days. That's too hot, and I've lived 20 years in Central Florida. Yikes. Yeah, we were at 97 yesterday, and the car kept reading 100 and 102, depending on where we were driving and where we were parked at. Must have some cooling, just not enough. That's true. Yes, we are definitely way ahead of you on this platform. Lisa, thanks for the great show, everybody, today. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat something now because I'm smelling it, and I got a dry tongue, so I will despite drinking the something. Catch you on the flip side, guys. Thank you.